Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. You are logging in today to learn about Fidelity National's Financial Fitness Program. We're excited to be presenting for you today. We'll be getting started momentarily. Before we get started with the formal presentation, I'm going to go through just a bit of administrative housekeeping, and then Ava will kick off the live presentation in about 2 to 4 minutes or so. So for everyone joined in, I just want to do a little bit of a sound check and a technical support check. At this point, hopefully everyone should be able to see my screen. Eva, can you confirm you're able to see my screen? I have the administrative housekeeping slide up.
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. So for everyone on the phone here, hopefully you'll be able to hear our voice and both see our screen. If for some reason you're having trouble seeing the screen, you can feel free to send an email to support@financialfitnessgroup.com. That's SUPPORT@financialfitnessgroup.com. Or you can give a phone call to 617-872-3023. I'd encourage you to jot that number down just in case in the email. That is 617-872-3023, or email us at support@financialfitnessgroup.com. The second thing, just to confirm that all the attendees can hear us and see the screen just fine, I'd like to ask you to submit a question using the question functionality. I'm moving my cursor over kind of the box here that points out where that question is on the control panel. So if you're not familiar with it, or if this is your first time, regardless, I'd ask you to kind of click on the questions and type in a quick question. Tell us how the weather is, where you're dialing in from. If you're not seeing this full control panel, perhaps you might just see a small little rectangle like this. When you click on the white arrow on the orange background, it'll expand out so you can see the full screen. So if you're not seeing the question box by default, you can click on that to either expand or collapse and submit the questions in. I'm going to just double check here and see who's chimed in. So Kimberly says the weather is warm in Daytona. We've got Randy from Bluebell, Pennsylvania, Nicole in Pittsburgh, and great. It sounds like the sound is working just fine. And we've got Kay, Debbie, Krista, and others. And overall, weather report is pretty good. Sunny in half the nation, a little cloudy in others. Didn't hear any rain or hail yet, though. Wonderful. So we've got a good group of people registered for the webinar. About 70% or so of the people who've registered have already logged in. We will be getting started here momentarily, but for those of you who just joined in, I'm going to repeat the technical support issues, and then we will get started with the formal webinar. So again, thank you very much for joining in on today's webinar. This webinar is being brought to you by Fidelity National in conjunction with the Financial Fitness Group. We're excited to talk with you about the Financial Fitness Program. If you're having any technical support issues, and you need help, for instance, you're not able to see my screen, you can either phone call, give us a call at 617-872-3023, 617-872-3023, or send an email to support@financialfitnessgroup.com. And for those of you who just logged in and have yet to try it, I do want to encourage you to chat in a comment or a question. Let us know how the weather is using the question functionality. During the course of today's webinar, you should be able to hear and see the panelists. In order to ask your questions, we ask that you use that question functionality, and that should be very helpful. So with that, I'm going to ask that we get going here in just 1 second. Wonderful. And Hillman, did you mention the recording is already started?
Yes, Joe.
Okay. So I'm going to kick us off and hand it over to you, Eva. So thank you all for joining in. You are logging in today on Fidelity National's Financial Fitness Program webinar. This is one of 3 webinars we're offering for HR managers and other professionals to help understand the program that we'll be rolling out this month. And with that, I'm excited to turn it over to Eva to introduce herself and a little bit about the program.
Hi, everyone. This is Eva Chavez-Cumming. I'm the Director of Retirement Plans for Fidelity National Financial, and I'm located here at the corporate office in Jacksonville. And today I'm really excited about the financial fitness program that FNF is going to offer to all FNF and ServiceLink employees. Throughout my time with FNF, the one theme that has resonated with me is employees' lack of confidence when it comes to their finances and saving for retirement. And this has been a common concern at all of the campus events that we hold for the FNF 401k. Now, some of you may remember that FNF participated in a financial fitness challenge in 2012, and we offered this program to about 1,000 of our employees. The program was sponsored by the Financial Fitness Group and the Employee Benefit News. We had great participation and feedback on the program, and I am now excited that Financial Fitness Group has an enhanced version to share with us free to all of our employees. Participants have access to more online tutorials and access to a financial coach. The financial coach can assist with questions participants may have about what they're learning, and they can also direct them to some of FNF benefits when they assist in their financial wellness. So as you know, the financial wellness is a hot topic, and the need to provide employees financial confidence is growing. Financial problems do not discriminate based on age or income level. The financial wellness program we are offering to employees is designed to educate, provide financial literacy so participants can make better savings and spending decisions. And so on that note, I'd like to introduce to you Joe Sari, who is the founder and chairman of the Financial Fitness Group, and he will discuss the program and the benefits of our employees participating.
Thank you so much, Eva, and thank you all for joining today. As Eva mentioned, my name is Joe Sari, and I'm the founder and the chairman of the Financial Fitness Group. Just a bit of background on me. I was a graduate student and faculty member at the University of Wisconsin-Madison for about 10 years. I've got about 20 years experience in publishing and education. Kind of my passion, my life's purpose is really to help provide educational tools to enrich the lives of others. And so it's exciting to be working with Eva and your team to roll out this online financial fitness program. The goal is to provide kind of instant, unbiased answers to people's common questions about money and help empower them to make better decisions. So there's really three key things that we wanted to cover today in the webinar. First of all, as Eva mentioned, the need for financial wellness has become a hot topic. Just want to spend a few minutes to help you understand why this is important, why Fidelity National is providing a financial fitness program to employees. And then we'll spend the bulk of the webinar really talking about the program, what it is, how it works, and then important, that final third topic is how you can help spread the word. The reality is today's webinar was being offered to about 150 HR and other professionals who ultimately provide benefits and help serve as a key point of communication to over 20,000 people and their extended families. So you have a great opportunity here to really to make a positive impact in the lives of others, and we're hoping to share some good information that you can then know how to best make people aware of this program so they take full opportunity and full benefit of it. So with that, just looking a little bit about the need for financial wellness. When you think about it, the statistics are abundantly clear. Average American is simply not financially fit. If you think about kind of the ABCs of financial fitness, kind of what somebody's aptitude is, what their behavior is, or what their confidence is, the data is pretty alarming. We've had the pleasure to research this issue for over 10 years, working with over 1,000 employers, 16 state governments and the like. What we see is the average American scores about a 59% on basic financial literacy quizzes. So people are more likely to tell you about the nutritional elements they have in their Special K that they eat for breakfast than the assets that they have for their 401k to provide a retirement. On the behavior side, the reality is 2/3 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't even have $1,000 to cover an emergency savings plan. People are woefully, unfortunately, under saving for retirement. And there's a whole bunch of other issues there to be aware of. And ultimately, confidence. When you look at kind of people lack the knowledge and they know they're not making the right choices or behavior, that starts to erode or impact confidence. And according to research that we've done over a 10-year period here, about 80% of employees have moderate to high stress about money. So you probably see this day to day. Some of your workforce, maybe a good portion of your workforce maybe is dealing with financial challenges, kind of working paycheck to paycheck to try to get by. But why does it matter to employers? Why does it matter to Fidelity National in general? An economic reason beyond it's just the right thing to do to try to help people make smarter decisions about their money. On the economic side, the research has become abundantly clear. Over the last 20 years or so, there's been 200 articles and research papers that clearly show the lack of financial well-being has a negative impact on employer profits and productivity. We know that when people become stressed about money, it can cost U.S. employers over $100 billion each and every year in terms of lost profits and productivity. When you kind of drill that down, that 80% of the workforce that has moderate to high levels of stress, the cost kind of to an employer can be up to $2,000 per year. And how does that add up? On the left side, one of the things we know is that when people are stressed out about money, they're far more likely to leave their job. You have higher levels of involuntary turnover. You also get higher levels of absenteeism, people calling in for work sick, last minute, or otherwise because they're either stressed out or they need to deal with a financial emergency. On the payroll expenses, certainly related to the 401k, but also related to your health care and other benefits, we know that when people are stressed about money, they make suboptimal choices. They're not taking full advantage of their flexible spending accounts, their health savings accounts, their retirement saving accounts, things that could save them significant amounts of money on their taxes and save the employer money as well. And then finally, on the healthcare side, we know that when people are stressed out about money, it can lead up to 3 times higher levels of preventable healthcare claims. There's a huge correlation between financial stress and things like insomnia, depression, even high blood pressure and heart attacks. And the research is abundantly clear there that when people are stressed out about money, it starts to manifest in virtually every aspect of their lives. Kind of on the blue arrow on the right, you see the same thing. When people are stressed out about money, they're less engaged, they're less satisfied in general. And of course, that impacts their productivity or their ability to do their job as well as they would like and as well as you all would like them to do as well. So there's a lot of reasons kind of economically, on a human level, I think you can all adapt to this idea that if you could help people make slightly better decisions about their money, perhaps that makes them just a bit more happy, a bit more likely to be a productive and satisfied employees. A few final points on the data side here. We do know that people who are stressed out about money, in fact, about 46% of the workforce will spend up to 150 hours a year dealing with financial challenges and worry on the job. I mentioned the stats on the preventable health care before, up to 3 times higher levels of preventable health issues. So not only is that bad for the person, for their family, and for their health, but it has a negative economic ramification for them and for the employer as well. And then finally, on the absenteeism, up to 2 times more likely to be absent for work among the group that's stressing out about money. So we are not alone in this issue in terms of looking at it. I want to commend Eva and yourselves for being here today, for actually realizing that this is an important topic. Research shows 8 out of 10 employers are actively seeking a solution. They're looking for kind of a way to provide independent, unbiased resources to help employees get kind of common questions about money. And so we're excited to be collaborating with you on this program today. I'm just going to do a quick sound check and ask Eva, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself if you're muted, and confirm that you're able to hear me okay and see the screen move just fine.
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. And for the rest of you, as you get questions, I want to encourage you to chat those questions in. We're going to be pausing for Q&A at the end of the webinar. So we'll share a lot of great information, but we're also looking forward to have an open discussion on the things you want to learn and know more about this program. So with that, I'm going to go over an overview of what is the financial fitness program offered by Fidelity National, and then really gear into how you can help spread the word. To give you just a little bit of background, I mentioned at the onset, I've got over 20 years in publishing and education. In particular, we were fortunate to work on, over about a 10-year period, about a $2.5 million grant-funded research program where we worked with some 20 state governments and universities to look at a new paradigm of how you could deliver financial well-being in the workforce. And the idea was pretty simple. It involved 3 key things, as you can see on the screen. One was, what are the best practices in technology that are changing the world from, iPhones and e-learning? What are the things that are out there that are changing the way people get and consume information? We also wanted to look at psychology. What are the aspects of behavioral economics or behavioral science that are working in the world of corporate wellness or sales and incentive programs to help empower people to act on their good intentions. And finally, kind of the spirit of competition or gamification. And so we were fortunate again to apply for and receive over $2.5 million of grant funding to really research this issue of taking best practices in technology, psychology, and gamification to make learning about money efficient, effective, and fun. Part of what we were aiming to do was deliver educational resources, tools, and content at a fraction of the cost of what employers have been doing and try to get better outcomes or better results. And we've been fortunate to win 3 governor's awards from our work. I've been recognized in several trade journals. Ultimately, we had about 1,000 employers engage in the program. Those employers employ over 2 million people. So we'll be digging into the details of how that research and how that learning led to the rollout of the financial fitness program for Fidelity here in just a bit. As Eva mentioned, we had the opportunity to work with you in one of those grant-funded research programs back in 2012. We've worked with a number of employers of all different shapes and sizes, big companies from Gulfstream, the state of Iowa, the state of Wisconsin, Stanford University, and others whose brands you would recognize, and hundreds of companies whose brands you may not. We've worked with groups where people were in remote kind of satellite offices, manufacturing floors, even agriculture. And the goal here was to create a program that could be effective and meaningful for all. Ultimately, one of the things we have found is that this idea of using technology, psychology, and competition has led to far better engagement. We get up to 5 times more people using the platform, using this online solution than traditional methods like a lunch and learn workshop or or newsletters and enrollment kits. And on the right, you can see some of the benefits of participating in the program is individual employees who get involved have shown up to, on average, a 70% improvement in their aptitude, their behavior, and their confidence, and their kind of financial fitness score. In particular, we see people who go through the program do things like creating a budget, maybe developing a financial plan, reviewing or improving their retirement savings, reviewing or making better use of their benefits. The blue arrow on the right going down, we also know that people who go through the program tend to have significantly lower stress, they reduce their overall debt, and they have fewer late fees as well. Final few things here before we get into the screenshots of how the Fidelity program will work for you is really to understand some of the guiding principles. We get that employees and their family members are busy, and we understand that you're busy too. We appreciate that you took the time to be here today. And so part of what we've done in working with Eva and the team is to try to deliver a program that will be incredibly simple to roll out so that your employees can, log on from their smartphone or their tablet, get started in just a few minutes. We also know it needs to be flexible. It needs to fit to their work schedule or to their available time. The program is something they can do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from a smartphone, a tablet, or wherever they are, and ultimately measurable. So as an individual, if I'm going through the program, can I track and measure my change? Can I get a sense of kind of satisfaction to see progress? And kind of as a whole, helping Fidelity National understand, what are the challenges the population are facing and how can you help improve those items? So in terms of the methodology of how the program rolls out, it's really quite simple. And it's been, again, used by about 1,000 employers with some pretty good results. And first of all, there's kind of an automated employee engagement process. I'll go through the details of what that means. But typically people, when they get started, the first step is to do a quick 10-minute checkup. And this is a kind of an assessment of their financial well-being. At that point, it can deliver personalized education, and people actually get the access to talk with a financial fitness coach for up to 30 days free of charge. So again, kind of that 3-step process. People do an online assessment from their smartphone, their tablet, their computer. It takes 10 minutes. At that point, they can get a personalized financial fitness plan, consume education as they see fit, but they also get the opportunity free of charge to engage with a coach for up to 30 days. The entirety of the program is free of charge to the employees at Fidelity National as well as their family members and spouses. So this is a benefit provided to you and your employees free of charge. And at the end, the individual can track and measure their results as they work through topics, and there's roll-up reporting as well. To give you an idea of kind of the turnkey marketing messaging, so here on the screen, you can see an example of an email. Right at the top, it's got Fidelity National's brand and kind of promoting the Financial Fitness Academy itself. And these emails have been designed to help drive engagement. It explains what the program is. First email tends to be a bit long, the second one is shorter, and the third one shorter still. But the goal is to get people to be able to click a button and get started now. So if they click that Get Started Now button, they will be encouraged, whether they're on their smartphone, their tablet, or their computer, to do a quick 10-minute checkup. And that checkup is really simple. It really covers the ABCs of financial fitness. First, what are people's aptitude? What do they know, about money? What is their behavior? What are they doing today? As well as what is their confidence? All of the items that they provide are kept private and confidential. So no one at Fidelity National or outside can see individual scores. The roll-up aggregate reporting is summarized, but an individual score, what Eva or myself or Heelman, who's here with tech support, do, they can't see our individual scores, but you can kind of get a roll-up reporting of people's aptitude, behavior, and confidence. If an individual chooses to meet with a coach, they can choose to share some of their data with that coach, and they can help provide personalized coaching. But it's a great way to kind of do that checkup, get an assessment of where you are, and then ultimately you're delivered a financial fitness score. Going back one step, that checkup will take an employee 10 minutes or less. It's the first step. And anyone who unlocks that checkup, or a spouse or a family member who gets involved, then gets the opportunity to enroll in the Financial Fitness Academy for up to a year, free of charge. It's over a $200 value. On the score side, you can kind of see what is your individual financial fitness score. You can see how you compare to others. And it gives you a little bit of context to understand kind of where this puts you. In this case, the person scored 5.3, which puts you in about the middle of U.S. adults when it comes to financial distress. And then they can click to continue. And in that process, they get a personalized financial fitness plan, or they can build their own. And Eva, I just want to confirm that you're able to hear my voice just fine and see the screen okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So once you log in, you get a kind of this idea of a personalized plan. People are pre-enrolled into 3 topics that we know are incredibly popular and important for your audience, kind of the basics of personal finance, the principles of financial planning, and kind of an overview of retirement planning. But you'll see here at the bottom, kind of like the way that Amazon can recommend products or services based on your behavior, the system will actually recommend additional tutorials or topics that might also be of interest to the individual based on their score. They can also browse a course catalog of over 100 tutorials and calculators to choose other things that they might want to learn about. We are, in conjunction with Fidelity, challenging people to complete 5 topics typically over kind of a set period of time. The program will be available to anyone who gets started for up to a year, but we do know that idea of competition is important. So challenging the individual to go from spending 10 minutes on a checkup to completing 5 topics or more. You can see up on the right here this idea of, hey, do you need help with your financial goals? You can talk with a coach free of charge. Click here to get started. And you can track your progress as you work through. This gives you an example of some of the content. This particular topic is pretty in-depth. Some of the content is much more rich, interactive media. So we do have calculators and other tools, but the individual is able to track through if they're trying to set short, intermediate, and long-term goals. And along the way, if they need help, they can click a button or they can provide a phone number and ask to get a call from a coach for up to 30 days free of charge. So that gives you an overview of the program. The reality is it is incredibly simple for an individual to get started, 10 minutes or less to do that checkup. Flexible that they can do it from their smartphone, their tablet, when and where they'd like. But it allows them to track and measure their progress as they move through the program. I want to quickly summarize kind of what's included in the Fidelity Financial Fitness Program. And again, this is available for people, any employees or otherwise. First of all, the checkup is a great way to get started, to kind of be reflective and self-assessment. It's a quick online survey. that assesses and benchmarks people's aptitude, behavior, and confidence. People who do the checkup don't need to go any further. They could do that checkup and stop if they'd like. We do find a high percentage of people who do typically, want to take a look at taking online courses in the Financial Fitness Academy. Sometimes 80, 90% or more will want to unlock those courses. And you get some personal recommendations and the ability to enroll in online tutorials and courses for up to 12 months free of charge. For the entire year of 2017, any individual who's done the checkup has the option, if they want, to connect with a financial coach for up to 30 days free of charge. So they can help either, identify what content or what resources are important to them and help kind of encourage them to keep moving to accomplish their financial goals. And then finally, we get a follow-up checkup typically is offered to individuals who did the initial within 90 days. And the goal there is to get kind of some assessment, self-assessment of how did I do when I started? How do I feel 90 days later that I've enrolled in this program? So think about it kind of like a mini workout plan. If you're going to work with a trainer or at the gym, you probably hop on the scale before you get started and you want to kind of do it afterwards. That follow-up checkup helps people get self-assessment of what, if any, improvement they've seen, and it allows for measurability. With that, I want to kind of touch on a few of the final things about the program and a few key points, and then explain the third part, which is how you can get involved and how you can help promote this great program. First of all, I want to remind you the program's already been leveraged by over 1,000 employers. This is a proven and powerful solution. We know that people who go through the program can see remarkable results, up to 70% improvement in their aptitude, their behavior, and their confidence. We also know that it can help improve people's morale and their engagement. So one of the things we're looking to you for is to spread the word. The biggest challenge in programs like this is they can be available, but employees do get a lot of emails, right? And it's pretty easy to ignore. You can put up posters and flyers, and that will get a good percentage of people engaged. The best way to get the word out is having leaders like yourself, spread the word, to lead by example, get started, take it yourself, but also encourage your colleagues at your regular communications to take 10 minutes and take full advantage of this program. The final piece I want to reiterate is that all of the results are private and confidential. I said this before, but neither Fidelity National nor any other third party gets individual data about people. The program has been trusted by over 16 state governments and many major employers, and it can be really highly effective. So with that, I wanted to hop into kind of how you can get started to spread the word. So the program will officially start on June 13th, and promoting the program is simple. Even the team have and will finalize customizing some automated email messages. I'll get into a bit of details about that. But we've also provided some posters to create awareness and really do want to encourage you to leverage word of mouth. We've seen the most successful programs are when there are dedicated people in each individual office who both have done the checkup, enrolled in coursework, but are just reminding people and encouraging them to take full advantage of this as they get a time to. So for the invitation emails, just so that you're aware of what communications are and will be sent. So through the system, there will be up to 3 invitation emails that go out. The first email is the week of June 13th. And if an individual, gets started, they take the checkup or they unsubscribe, they won't get the second or third email. The second and third email go out typically about a week after. But in total, we find that 3 emails is a good amount of messaging to get kind of as much engagement as we will likely get in a fairly short period of time through email alone. For people who do enroll in the checkup and or the academy and to work with a coach, they will get additional messaging unless they choose to opt out. So there's a nudge messaging for people who do that checkup but maybe didn't have time to enroll in coursework right away to remind them they have the opportunity to take courses. And then for everyone who enrolls in the academy, they get a weekly progress email, which helps kind of assess what they've done and where they are and where they're going. And as I mentioned earlier, anyone who does that initial checkup will do a follow-up checkup. They're encouraged to do that roughly 90 days after. And in addition to seeing it online, email is used to help them, remind them to log in from their smartphone or their tablet to get started. The other things, though, that you can do, and these are more specific, one, we have provided a website, www.financialfitnessgroup.com/FNFF. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And this slide and that website will be sent to you as well. But the website has some posters that have been chosen and pre-approved to use. You have both an 8x5 times 11, kind of standard size, or a legal size. And so you can click on this poster and get a branded program. If you don't have a color printer in your office, it will print just fine in black and white. But it has the key details of where people go to get started, in particular the Financial Fitness Academy at FNF. And it has Eva's contact information there if an individual needed or wanted to have additional questions. So one thing obviously we're looking for on June 13th or afterwards would be to put up those posters. If people try to log in before June 13th, the program will not be available for them. It's coming soon, but the program on June 13th and for the entirety of a year, that FNF.Financial Fitness Academy will be available. We'll have a recording of this webinar as well as the slide deck available on this page as well in case you need or want to share it with colleagues who couldn't make it here today. With that, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and then go to Q&A. In terms of ways that you can promote the program, I've mentioned this a few times, but always good to be consistent. The very first thing that we really encourage you to do, there's 150 HR leaders throughout the company. We'd like you all to take 10 minutes and take that checkup yourself. The information is private and confidential. If there are questions you don't want to answer, you can opt not to respond. But it's a great way for you to get a self-assessment of your own financial well-being, and we'd like you to enroll in the academy. Log in, take a tutorial or course or so. One of the things that we expect is, if people have questions about the program, if you've taken 10 minutes to do that checkup, checked out the coursework, you'll be that much better of a leader on kind of being able to answer questions they have. Eva, of course, is available for you and your colleagues where you need it. The second thing we'd love for you to do is encourage, your managers, your employees, and others to do the same. We know that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. What we tend to see is people who are willing to take 10 minutes to do that checkup. We might see 70, 80, 90% or more enroll in the academy and start to take courseworks. And we know that that can literally make a huge impact on their lives. Colleagues like Eva nationwide and other employers have literally got letters that have helped, made people kind of come to tears in terms of the impact that the program has had in a positive way on people's lives. We've had individual who, had lost their husband and was worried about estate planning issues, and she was able to find the answers that she had been worrying about for a year or more, by taking a 20-minute course, and just how thankful she was that had been brought to her by her employer. The final thing, of course, is we do want to, use your regular meetings, use your regular communications to encourage people to get involved at every opportunity you have, starting from June 13th forward. In particular, in that month of June, we'd love to see a large group of people get started. The program is available from June 2017 to the following 12 months from then. So, take full advantage of it. And with that, I'd love to open it up for Q&A. And I want to thank everyone as well for listening and being attentive. So, Hillman, questions that we have?
Yes, Joe. And thank you, Joe and Eva. So the first question that we have is actually directed to Eva, and it is to please confirm the cost for employees to participate in this program.
Okay, there is no cost to employees for the program, and I do encourage everyone to participate in it. Also, we can roll this out to their spouses. If they have children they'd like to have access to the program, they're welcome to do that.
Okay, great, Eva.
I want to remind everyone that the program is available until May of 2018. That's for the tutorials, and the financial fitness coach they'll have access to through the end of this year. Again, no cost for the tutorials or to speak with the financial fitness coach.
And that's available to employees and their family members if they want to invite.
Yes.
Great. And a question for Joe. Can you go over the coach aspect of the program again? Because there's those two different availability timelines.
Yeah, so anyone who does that 10-minute checkup has the opportunity to connect with the coach for up to 30 days free of charge. The 30 days starts when the individual actually meets with that coach for the first time. So say, for instance, somebody does the checkup on June 13th. They request to meet with a coach. They schedule it for July 15th. From July 15th forward, that employee will have up to 30 days that they can choose when and how they want to interact with the coach. The coach's job is to help kind of understand the individual's financial goals, what their concerns are, and provide education and guidance to that individual that's unique to them. Sometimes that might be recommending specific tutorials or courseworks. Sometimes it might be answering a question. The coaches have been trained to understand Fidelity National's benefits. So these are certified financial planners or similar individuals who have been trained to understand your benefits and can provide guidance there. What they won't do is provide specific advice. So if an individual was asking about, where to allocate the investments in the retirement plan, the coach can guide that individual to your retirement plan provider. But this is an independent third-party objective provider whose goal is to provide kind of guidance and kind of personalized coaching. Eva or Hillman, anything more you want me to comment on the coach process?
Yeah.
No, I think.
Go ahead, Eva.
For me. Go ahead.
So we had a follow-up question from Nicole. After the first 30 days, how much does it cost to continue meeting with the coach, and what is the frequency of the payment?
Yeah. So the coaching services are provided by Ameriprise Financial. There's no charge in the first 30 days. If the individual wants to continue and build a comprehensive financial plan, Ameriprise will do that at about a 40% discount of their regular price, thanks to the relationship here. I believe that can be paid in monthly payments. I think it's $40 or so a month. Don't please quote me on that. I'd have to get the exact price, but the reality is that the 30 days is free of charge. If people want to continue and do a full financial plan or get specific advice, they can opt into that. They will not be solicited to provide those services. And I would say probably what we've seen so far, we rolled out the program with the state of Wisconsin, who has about 200,000 employees, Micron Technologies, a handful of others, and we found typically at least 6 out of 7 of those employees have gotten phenomenal value from the coaching. They're good with the 30 days. 1 out of 7 or so might actually be interested in or might actually follow up on a full financial plan or other advice beyond that free 30 days. Nicole, I'm hoping that answers the question. Oh, go ahead.
Hi, this is Eva. I just want to point out they're not. That's totally up to the participant. They're not being solicited to do so. That's just something that's available to them if they choose.
And then the other comment as it relates to the kind of the coaching in the academy, the content that's provided by the academy is independent and unbiased. There are no recommendations or advice for specific products. So if somebody was to learn about financial planning, it's a great way for them to understand the process, the system, and the goals. Even calculators or tools aren't going to provide specific advice. It provides objective material to help people make informed decisions. There are some 500 or so action items, things that people can consider doing. For instance, if they're trying to improve their credit, it might recommend that they get a free copy of their credit score, and here are some places where you could get that. But it's really quite powerful.
Joe, we have a couple of questions from Jackie. She's asking about what specific areas are covered, and you've mentioned a number of them. And she wants to know, are credit cards covered, student loans, mutual funds, etc., things like that. You have mentioned a number of them. Do you want to go over maybe a few other topics that are covered in the tutorials that are available?
Yeah, absolutely. So in total, there's about just under 80 tutorials. There's another 20 or so calculators. Simplest way, Jackie, to explain it, 2 primary categories, personal finance and saving and investing. In personal finance, we have tutorials relating to budgeting, debt management, credit cards, student loans, buying a home, refinancing a home, improving your credit score, getting your credit for the very first time, onto the concept of, what is a financial plan, how do you build one, what are the key elements, but a very comprehensive list of topics related to kind of somebody's personal finance. What we see is at least a third of the audience, typically is probably dealing with getting by day to day. Millennials in particular might be struggling with how do they best, handle their student loans, should they consider consolidating. So lots of great tutorials and courses there. On the saving and investing side, there is coursework related to, what type of retirement plan, 401k or others are available, how do they work, what are the limits, what are the rules, how do you contribute. There's also information about, mutual funds, understanding what types of mutual funds are out there, how do you read a prospectus, how do you understand them, on to pretty sophisticated topics for, saving or investing as well. We've had engineers from Intel and Gulfstream, PhDs and rocket scientists literally, interact with the program, and, frontline workers at Staples and, in agriculture. So there will be and is content that answers probably most of your common questions about money. And of course, the coaches are also able to help in all of those areas. Any of the coaches who are CFPs have been trained fully on that, and whether the coaches are a CFP or they're in training, all of them have been trained to provide coaching on kind of a full range of topics.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. I do have a follow-up question from Jackie, actually, who's a pre-question anyway, and another question from Nicole. The question from Jackie, I'll go to that one first. You mentioned gamification during the presentation. She was hoping for a little more explanation of what you mean by gamification.
Yeah, and so this is more as it relates, Jackie's referring to when I gave the overview of the research or the methodology. What we found is by kind of organizing a financial fitness event on June 13th, we're going to challenge you to do a checkup and complete 5 topics or more over a 5-week period. That kind of creating a goal-based way of learning has shown the ability to drive far more engagement. The research shows 9 out of 10 Americans say they need and want help with these topics, but they don't always act on that help. So the way the platform has been designed, and one of the ways we'd love to encourage you is to challenge people, to do that checkup, within the month of June, and to complete 5 topics, within the month of July. That sort of gamification has been done and very impactful. The person can track their own progress. They can see how many courses they've completed, that they've passed with a passing grade. At some point in the future, we look to actually create, incentives and rewards and point systems, the way that you can level up. But that's what we meant by that, Jackie.
Great, thanks, Joe. And also, we have another question from Nicole. And maybe Eva can respond to this, or Joe, you can elaborate. Are immediate family members eligible? Are only immediate family members eligible, like spouse, child, etc., or extended family, like parents or uncles, etc.?
You can offer this to anyone who's in your family: parents, uncles, sisters, immediate children, dependents, things of that nature. We're not restricting this. So the email is going to come to all employees' work email addresses, but then obviously you can change that to your own personal email address, and then you can give that link to someone else within your family network if you'd like, if they're interested in participating.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And with extended family, if somebody, say, a parent or even adult child, obviously if they work at a different employer, the coach won't be trained on their particular benefit system, but they actually have access to the academy or to connect with the coach. So this is a benefit to Fidelity National and their family members, employees.
And also to clarify, so as Eva mentioned, the email inviting employees to participate will be sent to the individual employees. Those emails are unique to the employees, but the link to access the program is something that can be given to anyone, and they can put in their own email address, whatever it might be, and they can participate in the program using the program link for Fidelity National Financial's financial fitness program.
Wonderful. Trying to say, there was one question about the slides and whether they would be made available. So I know that they're available on the website. I'll bring that back up, or they will be available on the website. And that is financialfitnessgroup.com/FNF. They're not there just yet, but they will be there probably, do you think end of day, Hillman, along with the recording?
They should be available very soon after this webinar.
Okay. And then do people who registered for and attended the webinar, do they get a follow-up email message that has a link to the slides, or is that doesn't happen automatically?
They will get, all attendees will receive an email directly from GoToWebinar. In that GoToWebinar, we'll have a summary of the actions we're inviting you to take, including the link to this financialfitnessgroup.com/FNF page.
Okay. And then for those of you who are on the call, and to see if you have other questions, one last thing, this is a little in the weeds. The posters that you're going to see, and certainly on June 13th, feel free to put them up. If you put them up before June 13th, the concern is people won't be able to get started until that date. But you'll notice that it draws people's attention to the program is starting on June 13th. We will probably offer you a second poster at that same link, or replace this one after the month of June. That'll say the program runs from June to May. We don't want people thinking if they didn't get started, in the month of June, that they can't, but we certainly want to challenge you to get as many people started as you can. The more people get started early and have a good experience, the easier it is for you to build that word of mouth, and for people to take full advantage. So there is no cost to the employees or their family members for the program for the entirety of kind of that 12-month period. And the coaching, again, is available we know through the end of this year.
And just to, well, it's okay. Joe, I don't have any other questions that have come in. This is an invitation to all those who are still on the line. If you do have a question, now is a great time to ask, and we'd be happy to answer your questions.
Excellent. And in the meantime, Eva, did you have any final comments you wanted to offer to people as well? And we have your contact information if people have more specific questions or questions pop up after the fact.
Yeah, I do encourage you that if you have to think of something, just to contact me. I think it's a great program. As I said, we did participate in the challenge back in 2012 when we had great feedback from the employees. There's a wealth of information that employees have access to, and I think it would be a great program for them to participate in. And if we don't have any other questions, we do have 2 other webinars scheduled. Tomorrow I'm going to send out a reminder. You're welcome to sit in on another one if you're interested in, or if someone wasn't able to attend, they can sign up. Again, we have 2 more scheduled for next week, and you will be getting a follow-up email with the slides and the link to the posters.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank everyone, and Eva and Hillman, unless you saw any other questions come in, I want to thank for the active amount of questions we did get, and wrap up the webinar here perhaps in about 30 seconds or so, unless any final questions pop in. Debbie, thank you for the kind comments, and we are excited that you're excited.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yep, thanks, everyone. Have a good day.